the different types of experiments we have are what we would call like more offline experiments, like scenario and batch and acceptance testing. Those are ones that we can use for back testing against historical data, or we can generate new inputs to run against our models, and we can test two or three or multiple models and multiple configurations. Our shadow and switchback tests are more online testing. So once you're ready to launch a model live into your system, you can either run them in shadow mode or you can run them in switchback mode, which is essentially A/B testing for your models. You'll also see here we have inputs and input sets. These are managed inputs. So these are ones that you might want to expose to your whole team to use for testing and store them. And also input sets allows you to kind of combine those into sets that you have for tests. All right, so we're going to do a scenario test. And so we're going to do a multi-parameter test, and that's what I'm going to call mine. And you can call yours whatever you like. We're just going to leave this as scenario one. We're going to not select an input set because we didn't create one, but we are going to upload files. So I have these files downloaded from the drive folder that I'll drag in here. And yours should look the same. You have input 1 through input 7. So we're going to use those uploaded input files for the purposes of this test. And we're going to use an instance, which remember is a combination of model code version and config. So I'm just going to use latest. And that latest instance is just the latest model that's been pushed to the marketplace. And we're going to add a few configurations here. So we have these in the guide, but this model has a few different options that we can use for setting different parameters in the model. And so I'm going to go ahead and add these. So we have 4 and 8 hours for the max shift duration. And we also have a recovery time, which we want to be 0 or 2 hours. And we also have an undersupply penalty that we want to be 0, 1,000, or 2,000 per the guide. And so what you'll see here is these are different options for the model. We'll go through how you expose those options when we go into the custom modeling section. But for the shift scheduling app, we're saying that we want to see what do the results look like if we set the max shift duration from 4 hours to 8 hours. What does it look like if we have the recovery time between shifts from 0 to 2 hours? And what does it look like if we change the undersupply penalty? So that's effectively the test we want to run. And you can see what the scenario test framework does is it will fan out kind of all the combinations. So we are making some updates now to allow you to control some of these options. Maybe you don't want to run everything, but this allows you to run kind of all those combinations. And that's what we're going to do. So once we have that set up, we're going to go ahead and create this scenario test. And so we're going to confirm we're running 84 runs, and we'll go ahead and get that started. All right. And what you should see is that you'll have this progress bar as runs are completing. You can see the experiment runs down here, and they have kind of the same structure as that run history that we looked at, so you know what scenario they're part of. If you wanted to do multiple scenarios, maybe you could have different input sets that you want to kind of look at the results by or shape the results by. And then you can see what the settings were and also what the app ID was, instance, what execution class. So we do have different compute classes available to you if you have more memory consumptive models or things like that. And then you can also see the value function. And so in this case, the value function is a combination of undersupply and oversupply, as you might expect from a shift scheduling model. And so wherever it's 0, we did really good, right? We didn't have any undersupply or oversupply. Right, so those are almost finished up here. And you can see also you can cancel a test. So if you mess something up, no worries, you can go ahead and cancel and restart. And there's a summary up here of all of the different combinations. So once this finishes, we'll get a nice view here that we can play around with for the results, which will be a nice little pivot table, which you can see here. And we can play around with what this looks like. So maybe I want to, remove, I don't care about looking at things by option set maybe. And I'm going to shift the recovery time over here. And now we have this nice little table of results. So we can view, okay, what does it look like if I have, a 4 hour max shift duration and my undersupply penalty is 1,000 and I have to have 2 hours between shifts, right? Well, it's like 2 hours, between shifts, worse for my solutions or better than 0 hours. And obviously, if we have more flexibility for scheduling people, we probably have better solutions. So that's inherent here with like the lower value function because we're trying to minimize. And so you can see here, you're getting the average result.value across all of these runs. So this gives you a really nice way to kind of look at a lot of these runs. And there's some different visuals here. So you could change this to a heat map if you wanted to. You can change it to let's see, a column chart, right? So you can kind of understand what the different performance is with different metrics.